what we do now really affects the lives of patients, that's great. That really gives me a very proud feeling. The posture project focuses on scoliosis. And scoliosis is a 3D sideways curvature of the spine. It can affect both young children and elderly. And what we did in the posture project is we tried to design a more optimal treatment method for, at first for these young children. Current treatments consist mainly of metal rods and screws, and for children there are some options to allow growth, because if you just apply metal rods and screws then it's completely fixed and the spine cannot grow anymore. But then still there is often metal on metal articulation, which is not ideal, or multiple surgeries are needed to allow for that growth. So that is both physically but also psychologically very heavy for them.
Can really give good correction of the spine, but still allows for growth in younger children. That's the importance of the Dyneema material that we specifically use in this project, because this is really very strong. So instead of multiple operations, we can do it in one operation. That's our hope. Not only physically, but also psychologically very important for a younger child. It doesn't need constant reoperations.
And also in the elderly people where there is degenerative scoliosis, if you use the rods and screws there, it can lead to problems of screw breakout, because you can imagine that those people have osteoporotic vertebrae, so they are very weak. We designed a cable that could go around the vertebrae, and that cable would still be connected to those existing rods, so the rods would still correct that spine, and the cable would allow for growth because it just slides along those rods when the child grows. So we used material from DSM Biomedical for that. Yeah, with one surgery it would be done, the spine would be corrected and the child could just grow until maturity, and then yeah, it would be fine. It was the first time for DSM Biomedical here in the Netherlands to be legal manufacturer of a medical device. It was also the first time for MUMC Plus to be sponsor of a medical device clinical trial. So we learned that especially that legal manufacturer role and that sponsor role were very important. We also learned what the responsibilities of those roles were, and also what the deliverables were. What did we actually have to document and deliver in the end to be able to conduct that clinical trial. But then there were also two accessories that we were designing, but those were designed and developed by different legal entities. So it was not just DSM Biomedical BV as a legal manufacturer of the cable, but also DSM Biomedical Inc. in Exton as legal manufacturer of the leader, one of those accessories. And in the end it was MUMC Plus who did the in-house manufacturing of the tensioner, the other accessory. Those three devices had to come together as a system, work together with the existing rods and screws, and that system has to go into that clinical trial. I could definitely not have done it alone. DSM Biomedical could not have done it alone. We really needed this cooperation, and Insight facilitated that cooperation. And it's a lot of interactions. It's interactions with the clinicians, with the engineers, with the regulatory people, with the quality people, and also the Clinical Trial Center of Maastricht, where also Insight was very instrumental to make arrangements with them so we could use their expertise, and then trying to bring that all together, document it properly. To designing these implants and preparing for this clinical trial. There's also work streams in the project concerned with improvements already of the concept. So we're working with Xilog for a crosslink device, and we're also working with the Eindhoven University of Technology for a software system to assist the surgeon to use the most optimal construct. So where do you place cables, where do you place screws? So it's really very complex. My job did change because in the course of the project I got a regulatory assignment within DSM Biomedical, and that turned into a part-time responsibility. So I'm now next to being a senior scientist, I'm also this regulatory and product safety specialist. Yeah, I'm very proud. It's great to be part of that committed team that really wants to make this work. I think for the child, it's great if they look more like a normal child, if they stand upright, if they don't feel a pressure in their chest maybe because they can't breathe normally. Knowing that they are done with that one operation and not having multiple operations looming in front of them, I think that's great for a child and also for their parents.